What's up guys, Connor here, and today I'm going to be doing a Halo 5 Guardians campaign only review. I will be going through in detail, so this video will have major spoilers. So please, if you haven't played campaign yet and don't want it to be spoiled, do not watch. In this review, I'll be going over what I didn't like, what I did like, my overall thoughts on the story, and where I might be headed with Halo 6. First off, I'll start by listing out the things I didn't like about the campaign. It was too short. The story felt very rushed and had barely any breathing room for small character moments like in Halo 4. For example, when Lasky approaches Chief, when Chief just lost Cortana. It's moments like that that make the games really hit home for me. It seemed like they just wanted to rush right into action with very little dialogue. I don't know why Josh Holmes stated that this campaign was longer than Halo 4's, because it certainly was not, and I do feel a bit cheated by that. There were also more questions brought up than answers in this campaign, not to mention the cliffhanger ending. Even in the first mission, I think they killed off Julam Dama way too quickly. 3 books in a Spartan's Up campaign and he's killed in the first mission? I don't know about that. Maybe it was to show how deadly Locke and Osiris is. Second, the marketing campaign had nothing to do with the actual game. With Hunt the Truth and all the live-action trailers pointing out that Master Chief may have been seen as a villain, and Locke having this deep hate for Chief, it never really played out. Master Chief simply says no to Lasky and goes on his own mission to find Cortana after seeing a vision of her. Nobody on Infinity seems mad about it at all. They just send Osiris to bring him back. Locke doesn't call him a traitor whatsoever. He just sees him as another target. When Osiris and Blue Team finally do meet, Locke and Chief do have a brawl, and to be honest, I thought it was super cool. It also shows that a Spartan 4 can hold their ground against a Spartan 2 in hand-to-hand combat. But that's it. That's the only time we see the marketing campaign make sense, and as I predicted before the game came out, Osiris and Blue Team come together to take down a greater threat, which turns out to be Cortana to my surprise. More on Cortana later. Another thing I didn't like was how little we played as Chief and Blue Team. I was incredibly happy that Blue Team was finally going to be in a Halo game, but we didn't see much of them. I did enjoy the parts they were in, and I did like the dynamic between them. For example, when Linda steps in front of Chief when Cortana is walking up to him, or Fred referring to Chief as their brother. 343 did a good job at portraying Blue Team's personalities. Now for the things I enjoyed about this campaign. The gameplay was incredible. In my honest opinion, this was the most fun Halo campaign ever. It wasn't as linear as other Halos, and you could handle situations in any way you wanted. You could go up the middle and just tank everyone, maybe go to the side and flank the enemy. It was up to you. This makes the game have huge replay value, especially with the return of skulls and 117 pieces of intel to find. Even the music just flowed so well with what was going on in the campaign. Kazuma Donnachie outdid himself with his soundtrack. I would definitely give the soundtrack a 10 out of 10. Secondly, the story brought us to amazing places I thought I'd never see in a Halo game, such as Sanghelios. Seeing how the Sangheli Civil War was brought to an end while fighting alongside the Arbiter was amazing, even if it was a bit short. It's always a blast having the Arbiter by your side. The art was incredible. I loved exploring and appreciating all the little details that were in the environments. There were times where I would just stray from the main objective and explore the area. The non-combat missions were great for this. I found so many cool little areas, like the grunt that doesn't stop talking, or the one that sings to you. I even found 2 miners on Meridian that talk to you about the Covenant. One guy has to translate Portuguese for you to understand his friend. These small moments make this game amazing. Although the story was weak at points, it gave some interesting twists. I was shocked at how Cortana was almost like a villain. I would have never guessed that happening. When I first played through it, I didn't know how to feel about it. It was odd having Cortana be the antagonist, but the more I thought about it, maybe that's how they wanted us to feel, because that's how Chief feels. The one thing he cared about most has changed. She's killed millions of people by awakening these Guardians. He doesn't want to kill her, but she must be stopped. That's how I feel. I believe the Cortana we all knew from Halos 1 through 4 died when she said goodbye to John on the Mantle's approach. Finally, I really enjoyed the lore this game brought. We saw the domain, a builder planet, and another monitor. Exuberant Witness was incredible. I absolutely loved her. I was kind of disappointed we didn't learn more of the Warden, because it's quite obviously we haven't seen his true form. We know this because of a line he says when you fight him. Curse this form. So, is he an AI? A composed Forerunner? Who knows? We also didn't see any signs of the Didact, but here's hoping he returns in 6. The 117 pieces of intel were a really nice touch as well. Hearing all these small snippets of info really drove it home for me. There were some in particular that were very interesting, which were the Forerunner logs. We know he was on Genesis during current events and was looking for something called Bastion, but these pieces of intel will have to wait for another video. And also Buck. Enough said. Now that I've gotten my likes and dislikes out of the way, I'm going to talk about why I think this campaign is very interesting to me and the theories I have on where the story is going. So put your tinfoil hats on and let's get to it. If you're a lore fanatic like me, you may have read the Forerunner trilogy. If not, they're about the Forerunners and what happened when they were the might of the galaxy. Within these books, we learn of a contender class AI named 05-032 Mendicant Bias. At the time of his creation, he was the most advanced AI the Forerunners had, much like Cortana and the UNSC. He was captured by the Flood and spoke with the Gravemind for 43 years. Mendicant was convinced that he must betray his former masters because they were arrogant and prideful. The Gravemind spoke of the Forerunners as dooming the galaxy and that it must be restarted. He was the first to succumb to the logic plague and was turned rampant. This same logic plague was also used on Cortana when the Gravemind in Halo 2 captured her. After a long battle with the Flood and a rampant Mendicant bias, the Forerunners had to activate the rings to stop the Flood. Once fired, the battle was over, Mendicant was defeated and was torn into pieces and spread throughout the galaxy, one piece being buried on the Ark, where Master Chief actually speaks to him. Now, why is this important for Halo 5? Well, Cortana is acting very similar to how Mendicant Bias was, captured by the Flood and turned against her creators. She's using the Guardians to essentially restart the galaxy, the same way the Gravemind wanted to start over. So in my opinion, I think we will see the return of the Flood in one way or another. So that's my theory and why I really enjoyed this campaign. There are tons of theories out there, and I'll link my favorite one in the description. You guys should really check it out. I believe it makes the most sense out of all the ones I've seen. Overall, I give this campaign an 8.5 out of 10 because of the issues I had with the pacing and lack of overall story, but it was good fun. I think 343 is looking at the big picture, and just like Halo 2, it'll make a lot more sense once Halo 6 has been released. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed. See you all later.